Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sock Talks with Joy and Sean. How are you today, Sean?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, we're just kind of discussing here our conversation today. We'd love to bring you in the loop of what, we're coming into summer. And so many times in the summertime, no matter what business you're in by yourself, independently, you have a tendency to slack off a little bit, and we want to discuss with you why you don't want to do that and why these times are so different. So Sean, it's almost June 1st. What is your plan?
I got nothing. No, it is different. I mean, well, what we've gone through the last 2 months, I think we've seen some momentum in our business. I think it's probably in all network marketing businesses, and I think there's probably being momentum built in other businesses if you're taking the right steps of, you know, staying in touch with your clients, being active every day, setting appointments, and I think this summer. Um, I just look at it as it's just going to be a continuation of what we've been going through as far as kind of our momentum, not
Mhm.
hopefully the self isolation, and we'll be able to get out more and do things. Um, but I think it's going to be a different summer, obviously, than we've ever had.
Mhm.
And I think there's going to be opportunity where, people may not go on vacation because either they can't afford it or where they usually go, they just don't want to, or that's shut down still.
Mhm.
So they're going to be looking for things to do, and probably have more time to look at opportunities than usually over summer times.
Right.
How
Right.
about you?
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe that summer is just like next week, I mean, June 1st. It's kind of
Right.
like, okay, what's going to be different about what we're doing now versus coming into the summer? Um, of course, in our business with send out cards, I mean, to me, it just gives you more opportunities to build relationships,
Right.
with people in all kinds of phases. And, it's the same time, and people are just now starting to go back to work, but at the same time, business isn't going to like come to them very quickly. I mean,
Right.
there's still going to be so many people that aren't going to go yet. Some are, but is it enough to sustain your business or bring it back to where it maybe always has been this time of year, or at least get the momentum back into it again? So, therefore, for what we have to offer is, or just talking about relationships. This is a great time to keep building those relationships with people, whatever means it is. It's about, I did a FaceTime live the other day when I was walking. It just kind of hit me. It's like, what are you doing now as your business opens up again? Are you, hey, I've got the best deal out there, come and see me again, I've got this sale going on? Or is it concentrating on your people and your customers, and reaching out to them and just saying, hey, I really appreciate you, with no sales involved in it?
Right. No, I think you make a couple great points. And then, um, coming from, we have a restaurant here in Columbus. We're not open yet. We did go out to dinner on Saturday to a restaurant that I was telling you about. But I think that industry, service industries, you're right, they're going to open, but they're not going to be what they were because of the 6 feet and how you manage everything. So you may find a lot of people that are excited to go back to work and then realize my income is not what it was.
Hmm.
So I think we're going to have another spike in our business because of that realization that, you know, I'm excited to get back to work. I'm going to make this money. And then, because of the limited, capacity or the limitations, I think you're going to have people that it's 50-50. 50 are going to go back and I'm going to get out, I'm going to do things, and others are going to take a more cautious approach. And whichever way you go, that's fine. We need to respect that, but I think that's going to have an impact on businesses, and their income. So, as far as our business opportunity side, I think it's going to still be a great time. Summer's going to be a great momentum builder, and then we get into the fall and our holidays, and so this could be the year that your business explodes if you're taking action every day to set appointments and show people. So,
Sure, sure, absolutely, absolutely. And we've got so many tools in place to make that even simpler and easier for
absolutely.
us,
It sounds like oh, never mind.
Go ahead. What?
Nothing.
All
Sure.
right, then. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we just have so many things available to us, and I was gonna, some of the things if you watch in Facebook and some of our leaders and different people posting just questions out on Facebook that is prompting people for a yes or no answer.
Hmm.
That gives you an opportunity to open up and build relationships and
Absolutely.
obviously send cards out. And I heard something really interesting today. Was listening to one of Darla DeGrande's trainings, and just on the graduation cards alone. Obviously, and I did this post as well, on, the graduates, hey, who do you have graduating that's not going to walk, which is just about everybody. So, and I was able to pull cards together, ask for photos and that type of thing, and sent cards. And of course, Cody's, um, uh, oh my gosh, Power of the Human Connection book out, so on how important relationships are in your life and your business. And, and, and it's kind of like, take that another step. So you had the parent that sent you the picture, right? You sent the card to your child. So what are you going to do to build that relationship with that parent and send something out to them too?
Sure. Absolutely.
Or invite them to send their son or daughter a card as well, because they're not going to get as much. I mean,
Right.
they're not
No.
going to have that, that same kind of. So why don't we do this all together? So it's kind of like taking a second party, third party, and kind of like starting to build those relationships. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all about relationships. We teach ourselves, but you're building relationships in your business too. You know,
Absolutely.
I said
You
to my
better be.
team, yeah, yeah, I know, yeah, you should be. That
We
was.
better practice what we preach.
Yeah, yeah. On one of our team calls this week, I said to them, I said, how many of you, or I said, I didn't say how many, I started to say how many of you, but it's like, um, how many of your customers have heard from you more than once during this pandemic?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we have
And then,
customers too. So what are we doing to nurture
yeah.
our customers and their relationships too?
And that's as easy as looking at your back office and just, who placed orders or who hit orders today. And I look at that every day and go, hey, you know what? I haven't sent them a card in a while. Let me send
Exactly.
one. And I probably do 10 to 15 of those type of cards a day.
Hmm.
Um, and I've made up a couple different ones, trying to mostly funny.
I was gonna say most
Just,
of yours are humor, so it's
yeah,
all good.
mostly funny and just, but it is, you're right. It is the touch and, are we really practicing what we preach to stay
Mhm.
top of mind and, what are we doing to stay in touch with our customers and,
Yeah.
you know, um, and eventually some of those will, how do I do this as a business? If you've been consistent doing what and having fun with it. But you're right. And I like the graduation. I've done a few in our neighborhood, seen signs and sent cards.
Hmm.
It is fun. It's just, and it's making their day. And it is kind of a strange time for graduates that, you know, I
Yeah.
remember, you
Yeah.
know, from 100 years ago walking across the
I,
stage.
I know. I know. Well, I remember with my kids, the graduations, it's kind of like, how about, the graduation parties? I mean, that was such
Oh,
a
yeah.
fun time right now to be able to go from one house to
Yep.
another,
I remember
and
that time.
yeah, yeah, and just really enjoy,
Yep.
those kind of things. And they're, you're not seeing as much of that. However, things are looking up a little bit. You might
Yes.
start to see some parties popping up here and there, but with the graduation, I don't, one of the schools um, yesterday, Gateway School in the Monroeville area, they did a graduation in the mall parking lot. I mean, they literally
Nice.
brought in chairs and had them all spaced out. And and they did a graduation ceremony in this whole open thing.
Now, it was like if they call your name, do you just stand up then, or did they just do something like that,
No,
or
they
just did a
walked.
big part?
No, they actually
Okay,
they actually had them come up and and kind
but
of
six
walk
feet apart and stay your
apart,
okay.
you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
little
But
tongue
yeah,
selfie
yeah.
stick with the diploma on the end of it. Here you go.
Well, yeah, it was kind of, so they found a way to, kind of make it happen. But yeah, yeah. So
I
yeah,
think
and we're not going to have the vacationers as much as we've had in the past.
oh,
It was, but there's still things people will celebrate. it might be a stay vacation. I can see doing a card, staycation, kind of thing for people,
Right.
this time of year, and being able to pop pictures in and send out that way too. But and somebody said the other day, "If you noticed how you don't see as many pictures on Facebook, and really you don't." And I think it's because we vain women, we haven't had our hair done like
Nice. Isn't that picture from last year, Joy?
yeah. Well,
But you know what? Another good idea, you talk about that is, if you're not going on vacation, where would you go? Post your picture. I did that like a month ago, and I probably did 40 or 50 cards with people,
oh,
and
that's
I
a
just
great
did the
idea.
flat card, just
Yep.
the picture on the front and the back. It was the beach. I would put, walking on the warm, on the warm sand, the water's coming across my toe, something like that. That just if somebody's not going to go on vacation, send them like a 3-panel card with a bunch of pictures of
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
they
Well, that's
Google
good.
image, and then just kind of brighten their day. And
And I have to ask you, Sean, with all the
yeah,
pictures, you've done a really great job through this whole pandemic, putting a lot of photos out there with beach scenes,
hmm
which every one of them are card worthy.
right.
I mean, so how many cards have you gotten back from people with any of those pictures on?
Those I get more from my dog Charlie with the hat on than
Isn't
the
that
beach.
funny?
I get a few beach scene pictures back,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but I'm just doing it more. It's kind of a state of mind more than
Sure. Sure.
a place you need to be. And I kind of it that got drilled into me at a very young age when my wife and I moved to St. Thomas, and to trying to find a job, and the pushback you got from locals like, hey, season starts next week or in a couple weeks, blah blah blah. And it was because people go down there and think, oh, it's paradise and it's gonna be wonderful, and but I still have to do the laundry and the banking, and they don't last because they're not in the right mindset. So
Right. Right.
your paradise, your island time, it really is kind of a state of mind, whether you're
Hmm.
here in Hilliard, Ohio, with palm trees in pictures, or you're sitting on the beach. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Well,
yeah,
they've been very uplifting. I mean,
yeah.
it's got really
And I'll
cool
continue
pictures.
those.
Huh?
I'll continue those. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good. That's like one of my team members. She puts out there daily gratitude. And she's like literally takes a pic. Shelby Weary, I'm sure shout out
hmm
to Shelby. And she just like takes little pictures at home. I mean, even it's like the flower that bloomed in her front yard,
Okay.
or
Very
her
cool.
her son walking with her ahead of her, on a walk. I mean, she just finds different things and different perspectives, and that's been very uplifting for people, for
Yeah.
this time. But yeah, it's not going to be any different really moving forward. If anything, it's even more of an opportunity to be reaching out and touching people's hearts.
I think so.
Right now it's all about that heart more so than anything else. If there's people that don't understand or can't figure out how the relationships and appreciation are valuable now, you know,
Oh
um,
yeah.
they want their business back. And I really think the people, I know I've been working with a lot of business owners through this pandemic to build those relationships up through appreciation. And they're the ones that are going to have those people coming in first,
Absolutely.
because they've built that along the way. That doesn't mean if you didn't do it, you're not going to, I mean, and it's an ongoing process. It's not something you just one time say, I appreciate you. And when life is good, they never hear from you again, you know?
I think and I think when you're sending out cards and you're getting the responses back, that's a great opportunity to say, I love to help you make somebody feel like I made you feel.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, let me show you how to do this, which would be an easy transition.
Right.
Um, and again, summertime people have typically a little more time, or they're outside more, and hey, let's jump on the phone or let's jump on the computer real quick, and let's share this with people. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's
don't slow down.
yeah, don't slow down. Don't slow down. And sometimes people have a hard time making that transition to where you're doing it out of your heart to be nice, but then you're turning around and saying, okay, how do you transition them over to like trying it?
Right.
Kind of thing. And again, I think it's a mindset that you need to have yourself in, and always look at it like, they just felt wonderful getting that card. You know, they're going to feel wonderful making somebody else feel wonderful.
Right. And I think
Or-
that's a great approach is, you know, you obviously felt something because you responded to me. Who do you want to? Let's make someone's day.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to do it? What? Well, I want you to, kind of get the same thing that I just did with you, and you gave it back to me. Let's pass that on. Let's keep it going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Now, at that point, Sean, let me ask you something. When you're having that conversation with
Mhm.
him, would you jump online right away and just say, "Hey, let's do this together"?
I would ask them when they could, when you have a half hour, 45 minutes. Um,
Okay.
if it's now, it's now. But let's look at your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you have time later this week or next week? And I do the, proactive, what works best this week or next week, and then
Right,
schedule a Zoom with them. That's
right,
how I do it.
right.
So I had friend request, friended. She's a realtor here in Columbus. I don't know her. And then she's like, messaged me, thanks for connecting, blah, blah, went on. And I'm like, great, how are you? And we went back and forth a few times. And yeah, I used to be in the mortgage business. Don't do that anymore. Do send out cards. And she goes, I love cards too. What kind of card games do you play? And I'm like, so I went, no, no, no. I said, cards, like real,
Reading cards.
cards that
Yeah.
come in the mail. And, it was great for my business. And, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. And I'm, okay, well, let's set up a Zoom.
Hmm.
So we're doing it tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Um, we scheduled it and, want to walk you through sending a card and you can see if it'll work for your business or not. So,
Right, right.
yeah.
Now, as you're prepping coming into that meeting, do you send them ahead of time any of the videos or
I
anything?
don't, I know and I looked and I looked on Sock Pro and I thought, what do I want to engage her with? Um, but I didn't this time. I
Mhm.
just thought, you know what, let's go into, because I don't know her
Right.
right off the bat. So I'd like to, um, kind of build the first part of the Zoom and just kind of talk and get to know each other a little bit. Tell me how long you've been in the real estate business and things like that. And then I'll walk you through sending a card. And then after we're done, I may follow up with, I was looking at Cody's, like the introduction video of why send out cards and when somebody
Hmm.
first
Hmm.
becomes an affiliate and they go into, I think that's the one that I'll send her after and just kind of so she gets the full feeling of,
Yeah,
why send out
yeah,
cards.
yeah, yeah. Well, I
And I
know.
know what do you do?
Well, for me, for realtors in a case like that, I would probably send her one of the realtor testimonies,
That's a
just to
good idea.
say, hey, this is just a realtor that's using the system. Thought maybe it
Right.
might you be a little engaged as we get ready.
Okay.
That's one thing I've done. I have sent that wow video, the
Okay.
one, just, and that would be not so much for a business person, but somebody who's just kind of looking at the system to use it personally. I've done that one. Um, Another one that I've done is if it's somebody looking for it's kind of like thinking business opportunity. I will send them that it's our time.
Okay.
Okay. And just to kind of like give them a little, I've got somebody in the funnel with that right now, and I've been sending that. And actually, she's very interested. So I've actually been feeding her like Jordan's residual testimony and Phoebe's testimony.
Okay.
There's other ones out there, but those two. So I have, and I have sometimes engaged people with the video on the different plans ahead of time, just so that I want to say it speeds up the process,
Right.
but you don't have
And
to
they
go for so
think
much
about it for a
detail.
couple days and they
Yeah,
have questions. Yeah.
yeah, I've kind of done that, but um, I have, oh, I want to say fallen into the trap, because it is a kind of a trap. It's easy to send that link to send the free card, and then the video to follow up on how to do it without actually walking them through and doing it.
Yeah. I still like to do it.
Well, you should, and I
No.
should do that. And of course, that goes back to Cody's conversation Monday night on the call. He talked a lot about that, and I agree with that. So
Right.
I'm kind of transitioning myself a little bit on trying to
Yeah.
be more mindful of, hey, when let's set up a time and I'll walk you through sending it. And I did
And
that yesterday with
keep it
somebody.
simple. I don't go into a lot of,
Yeah.
maybe we'll do that next week is one of us can walk each, hey, how do you do the process?
Hmm.
And,
Yeah, that's true.
then we can, I don't know if we've done that. I have to look in the archives.
I don't. If it is, it's been way too long. It's time to change
Right.
it anyway, right? Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, but I'm trying to use more of the testimonial videos because it's another voice,
Sure.
and it's another
That's good.
perspective.
I'll send the realtor one. That's a good point. I've been
Yeah.
coached. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So, and it's funny. I would again on the team call we had started having this discussion about at least sending out some kind of link every day. Just touching people, um, and which ones do you use? And and
Right.
you've got the people that say, well, this one doesn't pertain to us. It says it's not it might not be the same thing.
No, yeah, I think somebody posted something about they were sending to a mortgage lender and they sent one of the, I don't know which video they sent, but it wasn't the mortgage testimonial, it was something else. So
Oh
those
yeah.
are, yeah, they can work across the board.
Yeah, and I kind of coached a team. I said, "Well, let's do this for the next 7 days. Go to the video, watch a video, and then think of who you might think would enjoy that video.
Right.
Kind of work it backwards.
Yep.
Instead of trying and just work it backwards and think, just send one out. I mean, the worst that can happen is they don't look at it. So, but at least you're doing some activity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah, Jordan had a good one on that this week too.
Mhm.
Was it Tuesday night? Whatever night he kind of threw a date. I can't think it was. Yeah,
Tuesday night, he did one late and then he did one yesterday at what, about
yeah,
6 o'clock our time.
yeah. It's just too many. I can't keep up with them. But I do go back and listen to them all the time. But anyway, so those are just, I think that coming into June for anybody to stay in activity, it's just that be an activity. If
Get in action.
get or an action, yeah. I mean, set yourself. I think there's value in it. And I've got a sheet here I keep track of all the time. You know how many cards I send, how many everything, and I make sure I'm at a high number because I know how many I want to the 10x activity I'm trying to do. But for somebody else, anybody else, you can make it one or two a day. Make it a goal of two a day.
Right.
Two
I think
two
there was
shares.
something, there's a networking Facebook group, generic,
Hmm.
can't promote your stuff, but just people. And somebody posted a question yesterday on why do people getting into the business fail? And there was all the skills and the training and this and that. But I'll tell you what, it's action. And you're gonna fumble a few times and screw stuff up. But people don't know what they don't know when you're showing them send out cards. And if it's the right person, it could be the worst presentation, but you can't say the wrong thing to the right person and the right thing to the wrong person.
a hundred
So the
percent.
action, just, you know, if it's one card a day, one showing a day, one follow up, or if you can't do that, do it once a week and get to once a day and then ramp that up. But it really is the action, taking the action to do the things we know that make us money.
Yeah, and I think the tracking of it is key.
Yep.
I've gotten myself into funks many times where it's like I'm not tracking it, so it doesn't seem like I'm
Right.
doing what I should. Or, oh yeah, I did that, and then you look and say, oh no, you did it. I mean, so I think it's really key to give yourself some kind of a check mark thing too. It's like if I because it works on the good side too. I
Right.
mean, it's not there to like, oh my gosh, if I don't make it, I didn't do my thing. But when you realize a lot of times you did, it's like,
Right.
oh my gosh, I did do pretty good. And you don't realize that if you're not tracking yourself.
Right. Gosh, I haven't shown that many people. And if you're tracking, you're like, well, I've shown 10 people since last
I
Thursday. It
know
didn't seem like
exactly.
that. So put the
Exactly.
positive spin on it. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And I always like to tell when anybody's setting any kind of goals from themselves or whatever it is, I said, think of a target. Think of a target. I say you got this big round target here, and you got rings, and you got the bullseye. Your bullseye is your number,
Right.
that you want to do. But you've got all these other rings out here that you've made closer contact to. So if you don't hit that 5 a day and you've hit 3, you're still on target.
Absolutely.
You just haven't hit the bullseye.
Yep.
And you can always be working for that. So I know that when I had that training one time, and it was a generic training, it's kind of like that was like an eye opener to me, you know. And I don't know if you read the 12-week year, Sean. Have you read that?
I'm not.
Okay, it's really an interesting book, and one of the things that I'm trying to think. Yeah, the 12-week year. Yeah, that's one of the groups that I'm in.
Okay.
That was something we were kind of like required to, I want to say required, it was part of what we're going through, for 12 weeks. But one of the things that they mentioned in there when they were talking about setting your tracking up, that you hit 85% of what you set out to do, and you're going to hit it.
Hmm.
You're doing good. That's like the target.
Right.
kind of a
Yep.
thing. So it's just a great concept. But you got to
All
know
right.
what it is. It's got to be consistent.
So get in action. Don't let this summer pass you by without, building some momentum, because the fall and the holiday time is our booming time. So, the more people you get in action now and put on your team, the more it's going to increase over the holidays. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. So,
and have
okay.
fun.
Hey, Sean, always a pleasure. Hope
Absolutely.
this helped everybody out there. And we always ask you, pass it on, share it with your team, share it with people, in your networking world. This information we gave you here, anybody in network marketing, entrepreneurs and business owners, there's some nuggets in here for you. So
Yep.
thanks,
Perfect.
everybody.
Have a
Sean,
great
next
day.
week. Bye-bye.